Today we're comparing three motorcycle seats, the standard two-piece and single-piece touring seat from Royal Enfield and the Sahara Aftermarket touring seat. Which one offers the best comfort and what's the price difference? Stick around to find out which seat is worth the upgrade and your money. Looking very good, actually, looking very good. Thank you from Sahara Seats, and I must say a thank you to Sahara Seats also for sending me this. It's just a shame it got stuck in customs for nearly a week, but anyway, it's here after paying the release fee. Three seats, putting to the test today. Which one do you like? The standard two-piece seat, the genuine Royal Enfield touring seat, and the aftermarket Sahara dual touring seat. We've already tested the first two. Now it's time to put this one to the test. First impressions, it's twice as heavy as the original. It's made from fiberglass. You can see this fiberglass resin there. So it's made from fiberglass, the base. Sahara Seats, we've got your back. No, we got your back. It should be we've got your back. We got your back. I get the pun. I'm not too impressed with these. This one's got the screw all the way down in. This one's got the screw all the way down in, but these two haven't. If I put that on the bike like it is, the screw is going to damage my paintwork. So only a slight little problem. I'm going to have to tighten that screw up a little bit. But the rear has no rubbers whatsoever. There's the original seat, there's the Sahara Aftermarket rear seat. They did tell me I would have to remove this bracket, and there we go, the bracket transferred across, no problem at all. Okay, another lesson learnt. I've undone these bolts. I put the washer on top because that's where I thought it went with no instructions. After reading the instructions, it says to put this washer underneath like so, and now I understand the reason why, because you can see I've got an indent from this piece of metal here. So a little bit annoyed. Obviously that washer raises it enough to stop that indenting. It's not a big deal, but I am a little bit annoyed at the same time. So I've actually cut this myself as well as like a protector to protect my paintwork. I've protected my paintwork but not protected my paintwork. So obviously that washer goes there.
Drone footage captured in Thailand's northern Chiang Rai province showed residential areas and surrounding fields inundated following flash floods that struck the region.
One muddy bike, one muddy teacher T. Unfortunately, Chiang Rai has been hit by a typhoon and the whole city of Chiang Rai has been flooded. Luckily the waters have dropped now, but I've been helping my employer clear her house of about this much of silt through her whole property. So I've done that this morning. But the Sahara seats have been fitted in a hurry, and I forgot about those screws, right? I forgot about those screws. So time will tell. I will take this off to see if there's any paint damage. They're a lot different than I expected. They're a lot firmer than I expected. I thought they were going to be cloudy, soft, gel. Not like that at all. They're very firm seats, but at the same time, in my opinion, they're very comfortable. I don't feel the vibrations in the road. I don't feel the bumps in the road with these seats. So I'm going to give you a close-up now of these seats to see what you think. Sahara Aftermarket seats, they really do look nice on the bike. They really do look nice. And we've got Super Meteor 650 written there, which is kind of nice. I've got Sahara seat label there, which is very nice. Mrs. T has got a very thick padded seat there on the back, and mine is a little bit taller than my original single seat. And we went shopping yesterday, and for a little money we bought this one. Mrs. T has got a cushion to fill up the gap that she has, because she's only tiny. The backrest is as far forward as possible, but it still doesn't fit her, so I've put a cushion on which has got a strap on the back. And yeah, what do you think, guys? What do you think? Do you like the look? To me, it's more comfortable than the touring seat, the Royal Enfield original touring seat. For me, it's more comfortable. I can't speak for Mrs. T at the moment. That will be tomorrow. But to me, it's more comfortable and it looks cool. So I'm really looking forward to taking the pillion seat off, taking the backrest off, and making it a single seat bike look number 2. So, how low can you go? I've got the seat completely removed. You would think that would be your lowest option, to make a seat as low as that. I'm going to demonstrate to you that that doesn't work at all. Look at that. I'm sat on the seat with no seat. my legs cannot touch the floor at all. So the lower the seat doesn't mean the better footing on the bike. The seat needs to be at least that height for your legs to be able to go straight down to get a better footing on this bike. So now I've got the original seat back on, the one that I modified myself, the one that I cut with my angle grinder. It is super soft by doing that, especially where I cut it at the front, where your man bits go. This is where I have to sit right here when I'm maneuvering the bike for me to be the best footing that I can. Not here. If I sit here, I've got no footing at all. I have to move my body forward to here. So it's important that this part is soft. And just note where that is on the tank, right? Just note where that is. I'm going to sit on the bike now. Bearing in mind it's very hot today. I've got my flip-flops on. Normally when I've got my boots on, there we go. If I sit as far forward to the tank as possible, I can even flat foot the bike nearly with my flip-flops on. So that's kind of good. And now the Sahara touring seat. Again, take note of the tank. I think, I can't see it yet, but I'm going to check on the video later, but I think that's higher on the tank. And therefore, when I push my body forward, I can't get as low a footing. Let's just try it. Let's move forward. Not much difference. Maybe only a centimetre, but that's a lot to me. Maybe the seat will bed in time. Maybe the seat will soften in time. So yeah, see, it's slippy there. It's slippy, and this is such a heavy bike that if you just lean slightly over and you slip, it's not a good feeling to have. But anyway, yeah, that's the Sahara seat. It is more comfortable, I must admit. Just sitting like this is more comfortable. How it's going to react on a long journey, we'll find out in a minute. Sahara seats. I'm going to say nothing. Give me some feedback about your pillion Sahara seat.
The look very good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think the look better than the last one, the touring seat.
Yeah.
And it's soft. Feel is softer than the original one.
Yes, because again it's quite a thick seat, right? So
yeah, it is. But when I ride it today, I think maybe the seat they little bit smaller size or the shape. I'm not really sure.
Yep.
It's just a feeling little bit hurt my back leg.
The back of your legs?
Yes.
Okay, so that's different than before. Normally it was the comfort hurting you. This is something totally different, right?
Yeah.
Different feeling altogether that you never had on the original seat or the touring seat.
No.
It's just hurting on the back of your legs. So we'll have a look at that quickly, but it sounds like it's the beading around the top of the seat that's hurting your legs.
I'm not really sure. I think maybe too small seat. The touring seat make you sit a little bit more wider and more comfort. This one a little bit in. But I don't know how it's hurt. Just hurt. Look like a U-shape.
So the big question is, the really, really big question is, on our tour in October, when we're going to do a long, long distance travel, which seat would you like Teacher T to put on the bike?
Have to be touring seat.
Have to be the touring seat. Okay, so we'll do that. For me, the Sahara seat is more comfortable. Definitely more comfortable for me, but obviously pillion is more important for long distance. So it looks like I'll be swapping between the touring seat when you're coming with me and then putting the Sahara seat on as my single seat, because like you say, the look is really good, right? It looks really nice. Extra backrest for Mrs. T. We did take that off on the way back just to see if that made any difference for her. It didn't. But now what I'm wondering is, normally the angle of the original seat was this. We put the backrest on, it was like that. Now we've put this aftermarket Sahara seat on, it's kind of like this angle. So one more attempt. We're going to take the backrest off and see if that's more comfortable for Mrs. T. If it is, then that just means I've got to get an aftermarket backrest to fit here. So the problem is still not solved, it's still ongoing, unfortunately. This seat is better for me and it's gradually wearing in. So I've been using it for a week now. It's gradually getting softer over time and I do find it more comfortable than the original. The only thing is it's a little bit thicker and it goes a little bit higher where the tank is. So I'm not low footing the bike as much as I did before. They do sell a low seat option, so maybe I have to buy another seat, but Mrs. T will kill me if I do. We will look into it. And lots of seat options available from Sahara Seats for many brands of bike, and they just sell the seat cover as well if you're interested. So worth looking at their website, saharaseats.com. I will put a link in the description. This is a non-sponsored video. So I've just put the touring seat on top of the Sahara seats just to see what she's talking about. And it's just here. She reckons it's a bit wider here at this point than what the Sahara seat is underneath. And when I measure it with a tape measure, it does measure 27 centimeters across at that point. Where if I measure the Sahara seat at that point, it's only 22. So it's just a little bit too narrow here for her, and I'm just wondering if the beading here is hurting her legs also, because it's quite hard beading there. But Mrs. T says it's not as good as a touring seat, and I have to believe her. So sorry, Sahara Seats, you win for me, but not for Mrs. T. Now it's time to turn it into a single seat bike and see how that looks with the Sahara seat. So it's just a case of undoing the 4 8mm bolts. That's all that holds the backrest on. 4 bolts off. It should be just a case of lifting the backrest off. Ta-da! It's a very heavy backrest. Very heavy backrest, so maybe I need to find an aftermarket backrest. Very sorry, Mrs. T, very sorry. But wow, doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look nice? And I see on their website they do another one with a backrest built in, which looks super cool. But I'm liking the look of that. I am liking the look of that.
L'amour comme le tango ne se danse jamais en solo. Mon cœur tremble, je sais pourquoi. Tu m'as conquise, je suis à toi. Alors emporte-moi vers des...
One thing that's unexpected is the kick on this seat. This rear kick is a lot higher than the original seat, and it's quite firm there on the back. So when I'm riding the bike, for the first time ever, if I see a major pothole coming up that I can't avoid, I can just push on the foot pegs and actually lift my bottom off of the seat for the first time, like you normally would do on a mid-peg bike, right? You would normally push up on the foot pegs. You can't really do that on a forward peg bike, but I can now with this lip at the back of the seat. So it's rainy season here in Thailand. There is potholes popping up everywhere with the groundwater rising up. So sometimes you ride a road every day, you think you know it, but there's potholes appearing out of nowhere and I can't avoid them. So if I push back like this, I'm actually lifting myself off of the seat for the first time ever. And then back to normal cruising on a good road. I don't need to use that part at all. So that part of the seat is very useful, and it kind of looks cool as well, right? So now it's time to remove my seat and see what damage is done underneath with that screw. I know it's damaged, I can feel it grinding when I'm riding, so I know it's damaged the paintwork. Let's have a look together what it's done. This screw was the lowest one, and you can see it's taken the paint off there. I could feel it, I could hear it. So if that's what it does on there, imagine what it would do on here for the pillion seat. So the pillion seat, the screws are not down enough for my liking, so I'm going to screw them up a bit tighter, and for a backup I think I'm going to stick something underneath there anyway, a piece of cloth, because the last thing I want that doing is scratching the paintwork on my lovely fender. But I'm doing this just to put these rubbers straight on the paintwork, because when the backrest is on, the seat is at this angle. I'm going to try and lower the angle for Mrs. T just to see if that makes a difference for her. Again, no rubbers on the front, but I kind of understand why they're not doing it, because it sits on the bracket, so there's no really need for rubbers there. Though I don't think they're going to do much. It's just the rear rubbers, so I definitely need a bit more padding on those. We'll pop the seat back on, hook it under, and this time the rear short hook goes on, so we can get the pillion seat on, and that will lower the angle for Mrs. T, and we'll give that another trial just to give Sahara seats a chance to see if it was just the angle that was making her uncomfortable. And there we go, there's a different look. No backrest. That's the rear pillion seat, a lot thicker than the original little thin thing at the back. I know Mrs. T wants that to be made wider, but I don't think that would look nice. That's the thing, right? Just wouldn't look so good if that was made thicker. I'm not sure. Maybe that change of angle is going to be better for Mrs. T. It's not as much as an angle now, it's more of a flat seat again. And I'm pleased to say that this experiment actually worked. This didn't hurt the back of her legs as much, but we only managed a quick 15-minute ride tonight before I have to upload this video ready for Friday. So we will put it to the test further and let you know in future videos. The only thing that she's missing is the backrest. She just misses that reassurance of a backrest, so I definitely need an aftermarket backrest. If anybody can recommend one, please let me know, especially one that goes closer to the pillion, because Mrs. T, she's rather petite, she needs one that's very close to her. So yeah, we're there. I'm going to go through the prices of the seats now quickly. The genuine Royal Enfield touring seat and backrest cost me a total of £188 or $242 or 20,700 rupees. The Sahara seat comfort rider touring seats cost a total of 7,697 rupees, which is about 70 UK pounds or 93 US dollars. So great value. You do have to pay extra though for postage and import taxes. My 10,000 kilometre service is due. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that myself because my local Royal Enfield dealer is also underwater, which is a bit sad. So it's going to take them a week or so to get back to normal, and I need to get this done because next weekend we're on the one ride on the 22nd of September. We're on the one ride and I need to get the oil and filter changed before then. So I'm going to have to sort that out myself. Please don't be scared to give this video a like if you found it useful. From a wet and humid Thailand, we'll see you very soon. Until then, ride safe.